the corner of, well, let's see, it was 340 California Avenue. We only had one high school then, and that we called it KC, Kern County Union High School. And now with they said another high school, a second high school was being brought up in the east, and they're putting together, and that was East Bakersfield High School. And I was overjoyed because now I could ride my bike up there and back. Everybody in it was a friend of mine. You know, we were all so close, and so I was working there with my friends. I liked everybody. I liked the teachers, everything about it. And East High was my favorite forever. When I went into the Navy, I entered as a combat air crewman, and that's when we were shooting all of the, and we had to learn what all of the other places that are airplanes, because we're shooting at people coming by in a fast plane.
Oh, yeah.
And so we had to learn all of the other enemies, what their ships looked like when their planes, when they came in to attack. And then I was promoted, so I went from there to bombs and fuses. Now you can imagine how much that helped my hearing. And when I got through with bombs and fuses, I had the highest score that they had ever had. And this lieutenant came up to me and said, "I'd like to promote you to be a bombardier." So bombardier, that, trying to think how long I was there. I bombed the hell out of Lake Okeechobee down in Florida. And I just got my wings, and now I was ready to go out and kill Japs. And the war ended. So there I am. I was sick and tired of Florida, and I was so tired that I went clear up to Minnesota. And at the Minnesota, when I got there, these were the days of jitterbugging. And there was a wave in there. A wave is of women accepted for voluntary emergency service. Mm-hmm. And when I got in there was this real cute wave in there, and she was a good jitterbugger, and so was I. We danced all afternoon and evening there, had a great time. And then when it was over, we had to go back by bus to the station. And I said, "Well, who's going to see Shirley gets back to the wave barracks?" And she grabbed my arm and said, "You are." And that was the beginning of, we had 64 wonderful years together. When the end of the naval, well, that's when Shirley and I got married, and I went to college then. I hadn't graduated from college yet, and it was a college that was on, the University of Pacific. When I graduated from there, that's when I got my first job in Wasco, KWSO in Wasco. Wasco Calling. In the early days, you understand, we had three things. We couldn't record anything because we didn't know how that, we didn't have the equipment. So you had a film, slides, and live. That was all we had. And 1953 is when the first two television stations were in Bakersfield. And I did the afternoon show Monday through Friday for 17 years. And it's astounding the number of people who remember that, because I left television to when John Wall called me and he said, "We could sure use you at Bakersfield College." So I had 18 years in faculty at Bakersfield College. Well, I told them when they asked me about it, I said, "Well, I'm very impressed, and I was happy to say that I was included in the East High Hall of Fame." And I said, "Yes, that's a real impressive." But at the same time, I said I would like to say farewell to my afternoon show fans. I will say that I'm no longer on the air, but I hope you will remember and never forget until tomorrow at 3, when it's just you and me.